we also say about how fucking Diddy is behind bars and still trying to manipulate his victims?
She was kept in solitary for over a month after asking for feminine hygiene products.
So there is a facility down in Florida where there is a young man and a young female who are both currently incarcerated. The woman is pregnant by the incarcerated man. But the crazy part is that they have never met in person, ever. Do you know that before like the Manson murders and everything with Tex in California that they didn't have LWOP?
So he was the reason they brought back, or they brought out LWOP.
Yep. Guess what phone call I literally just got probably 5 minutes before we just jumped on here to record.
Oh, what did we get?
I got a phone call from California, but it wasn't my husband.
Oh.
It was the family visiting coordinator at his prison, and we were scheduling my next family visit there, and shit has never moved this fast there, ever, and it's so exciting.
That's awesome. So are you getting them like
More frequently
within the 90-day mark? Like not even after the 90-day mark?
Yeah, right now it's like pretty close to 60. Like my last one was like almost 90, but like kind of based off where my next one is, they're at like 60, 65. And
Okay.
like that's amazing.
That is awesome. So are you looking like maybe like the beginning of the year?
Okay. Probably like mid June.
June.
What the hell? January.
Yeah, that's like 6 months away.
Imagine she told me my date was June, and I'm like,
excuse me, bitch. I need you to go back and fix that.
I'd be like, no. But
so like mid January, so right after Christmas.
Yep, and I just told Joe because I was so excited, and we were so lucky to have the family visit that we just did have when we did, because traveling any time after that, like now or even in December, I hate it. I hate traveling in December at all. But it does suck because we won't be able to see each other for the holidays. But the exciting thing is that at least we'll have that to look forward to and like kind of get us through some of the more sad days.
Well, the good thing is even if you're struggling during the holidays, you know that afterwards you have this epic visit coming up. So you always have that in the back of your mind to help you get through it, because it's never easy to go through. And I guess we can talk about that on an upcoming pod. Making it through the holidays alone, obviously, is something, but at least you have that motivating factor of, getting through it, because afterwards spend your time with Brody, like, do the whole family Christmas bit.
I like having that time, like for Brody and I to just focus on not worry about, like even last year, I think my visit was like right after Christmas, I think. Or right before. It was one of those. And all I know is that it really muddled with our plans because I was like so anxious getting everything ready for that. And then I was like, okay, I also am Santa. So I have to like do all these other things. And, it's whatever. I'll always do whatever I have to do to see him. But it's nice when it can like line up and work like this.
And we were talking about like prices of flying and hotels. Like January, if y'all don't know this, January right after Christmas and New Year's is like the cheapest time to travel out of the whole year, because they've bumped up all the prices for the holidays. Now nobody's going nowhere because they're feeling it, because they spent all this money on traveling and gifts and stuff. And so it's actually the best time to travel, because it's actually the most economical time to travel. So
that makes sense.
You have a good time to travel.
I can't wait.
Whoop, whoop. Ooh, can I share a little something too about visits? Because I'm excited. Yeah. We got 2 contact visits for the month of December.
Woohoo!
So I get to see my booby bear on the 22nd, and then also on Christmas Day, I'm going up there. So
hell yeah.
Yeah. Fuck and yeah. My lighting just goes out. I look like I'm going into a haunted house or something. Sorry, y'all. But yeah, I'm very excited that we got 2. And I we kind of started this tradition of me going there on Christmas or Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, but usually I do Christmas Day because I spend Christmas Eve night with my family. So it worked out. So I'm very excited.
I get that. I feel like if I didn't have like Brody, I
Hmm.
would like absolutely try to do everything I could to be there with Joe. And he knows one year eventually I that is the goal to like have Christmas together, everyone as a family, included Brody, you know.
Okay.
So, but I think right now, oh my God, the flight home, there was a crying baby on my 5.5 hour flight home, and it helped my baby fever disappear for a minute because I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. Can you imagine traveling?
No,
We're going to talk about all this today with the baby stuff, but can you imagine traveling that long of
no,
a flight with
I
a baby?
I'm still delaying it, and my child is almost 6 because I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, can he deal with it? Because it's just like it's already so like long and hard and exhausting for me. So like half the time I'm like in my head like, oh, I this is like I'm so tired. Like so then I'll have to be a cheerleader for Brody too because I
Yeah.
know he'll be like that too. So you know it will happen. It just in due
Yeah.
time.
It's like the parents taking their child to Disney World. Like it's a
Mm-hmm.
vacation for them. It is definitely not a vacation for you because you're having to do
Mm-mm.
double work to try to have fun, then also make it all happen. And it's this long trip, you know? So,
And that's like a whole nother thing in itself because like we talk about family visits and Joe and
mhm.
bringing Brody for our family visits, but like the one thing that Joe says he understands, but he doesn't fully sound like he understands is that my child is an iPad child. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
tried to do what I could to not have that happen, but guess what? Anyone who has a little child knows if they want to be an iPad child, they're going to be. And thinking of going through a 48-hour visit with my child not having his iPad, it sounds a little painful, and that is mostly for me because it'll
Well,
be like, "Oh, I'm bored," or "What can we do?" or blah,
yeah.
blah, blah. So it's it's getting ready for that.
Yeah. And it's hard because they, like you said, they grow up with it. So
Hmm.
it's going to be hard. But I mean, hopefully they have other things like the gaming system they have there and other
They
things to
do.
keep him occupied or, distracted. But I have a feeling it's going to be a totally different type of visit than you and Joe are like used to at all, you
I
know?
know. We both want it so much, but every time I'm like, "Ooh, maybe not this time." Ooh.
Next time, next time, next time, next
Meanwhile, Brody's
time.
like, "I want to go on a flight," and I'm like, "Do you?"
Well, I mean, there's always this. You can always try and plan one for Christmas 2025 and maybe
Yeah.
work him up to understanding what all it entails and like getting him ready for it, you know?
Mhm.
It's a
Mhm.
good goal to have.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
bring the broads. I'm all about it. They need to meet in person.
They do.
So, that would be so fun. I
I
wish I could
know.
take pictures because I would want to see family pictures together,
Mhm.
at a family visit.
I'm begging and pleading our IFC to fight for family visit pictures because a lot of the facilities in California will do family visit pictures.
Oh, so
And
it's just his facility that doesn't do that.
it's probably like half that do it, half that don't.
Okay.
And it literally takes 2 seconds to take a picture. So I'm like, can someone
Mm.
please do this? And I was like, I even said in our IFC group, I was like, I only travel for family visits. I was like, my last new picture with my husband is over a year old.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
It's so cute though because there's one facility that has it, and there's this woman I know that goes to visit her husband, and so they always get really cute photos outside of the family visiting unit.
Mhm.
And she had just gotten pregnant, and she has had a baby, so it's them with the baby
Aw,
outside of the unit, and I'm like,
that's so sweet.
I love it.
Now, did they do that at the previous facility that Joe was at?
No, so the other one I was at, no, but the very first facility he ever went to, where I met him, they do it.
Huh.
So
Huh.
it really just I think it depends on if the coordinator feels like doing it is kind of the
Yeah.
vibe I get.
Yeah. Well, fingers and toes crossed that maybe for Christmas 2025
Yes.
they will have it for
Yes.
y'all.
Don't make me Photoshop y'all
Yeah.
because I will if I
Yeah,
have
she will. She actually act like She's not lying, y'all. She definitely will. But if she can get a real photo, that would be great.
Please.
We don't want to have pictures of Brody like just by himself, like Joe just did. Like Joe is a freaking trooper. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Paige posted a ticky tack, an Instagram reel from her personal page of Joe taking pictures by himself so that Paige could edit herself in since they don't get pictures and do Christmas family photos and other things. So I would hate to see Brody having to do by himself, you know? So
It's so
I
funny
hope
because
that
he did that on his own. I didn't even ask him to do that. That was his own
that
idea with
was
it. So
even better. Even
it's
better. I
so
thought you had
cool.
him do that. I was like, oh, and he obliged. Like,
No, he
but
came
now
up
that I
with
know
the
it's
poses,
for
everything.
him, good job, Joe. I know he's going to
Hmm.
listen. Good job, Joe.
Hmm.
You're a diamond in the rough. Just saying.
If he
That's a real
wants
man
to,
right there. That's a real man right there.
if he wants to, he will.
Yeah. Love you, Joe. Great job on the pictures, honey.
Mm.
So,
Can't wait to get them and edit them.
yeah. I can't wait to see what comes out of those because
Yeah, I
he
know.
did such a great job doing solo poses just for you. I love
He
it.
did. I'm excited.
All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and dive on in because we've been talking for 10 minutes about everything and everything,
We miss
everything
you.
and everything. So we're going to go ahead and start episode 35. Welcome to Love with the Malls, Prison Wife podcast. It's your friendly host, Gigi here, and I'm here with the ever so lovely and beautiful,
Your friendly host, Paige. Hello.
my podna and everything. All right. Well, we're gonna go. I can't listen. I still it humbles me beyond reason that we are now at 35. I know I say that every episode, but it's really, really true. Like we're halfway to 40.
We are.
We're almost over the hill.
We're very close to the year mark. We'll have to do something special.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I want to thank you guys for getting us here to episode 35. Especially, I want to give a big, major shout out to
Hmm.
our sponsor today, our OG Waller squad on Patreon.
The real one.
You guys are amazing. And if you're like, well, what do y'all do on Patreon, Gigi? Well, we have 9 already. We're going to be doing 10 at this point, 10 mini pods. Personal videos. I have ASMR guided meditation for prison wives. Paige has shared her journey through family visits. There's lots of kinds of content where you get sneak peek exclusives, extra videos of the pod.
Things we can't
Before,
say on here.
yeah, that we discuss things we can't talk about on the YouTubes here. So come on over to Patreon, you guys. Find our link tree on our Instagram, and the link is there. Come join us on the Patreon, and big shout out to our sponsors on Patreon for helping us get this far to episode 35 especially. We love you guys. Thank you for being our OG Wallers.
You guys are so awesome. And the fact that we have enough of you guys who love us and care enough to sponsor an entire episode and take care of that for us, like it literally is surreal, and I feel so lame every time I say that to someone because they're probably like, oh, shut up, but I'm like, no, it's seriously, like, it's, I don't know, I'll never get over it, and I
Yeah.
appreciate and love you guys so much. I'm so glad that we all have each other.
Yeah, and we're eternally grateful for you guys. Thank you so much. It helps out so much. You don't understand.
It keeps
So,
us doing this, so
yes.
thank you.
Yeah. All right, are we ready to dive in, Paige?
I'm born ready.
It's Joe's favorite song. Here we go. All right, what up with that legislation? Paige, do you want to get it started?
I sure can.
Okay.
Um,
I'm pulling up mine so that way I'll go right after you.
well, I saw this lovely article. I heard about it on Twitter, and I only saw like a few articles about it, and I was like, oh, it's because it happened in Florida. A multi-agency operation at a North Florida prison resulted in the seizure of a large amount of contraband, including weapons, drugs, and alcohol. Florida.
Who could that be from?
Yeah, it was an unannounced sweep that went through the Sewanee, I hope I'm not pronouncing that wrong, Correctional Institution in Live Oak.
Ooh,
This just happened on Wednesday, so fresh,
ooh,
fresh
fresh.
last week. The raid targeted criminal networks involved in trafficking, contraband, and the transportation of networks who facilitate it. So basically, all in all, after they were done going through their little search, they discovered 59 weapons, 7 cell phones, 25 cell phone chargers, 19 gallons of homemade alcohol, 13 grams of synthetic marijuana, 26 grams of THC, 44 grams of meth, an Allen wrench, and $300 in cash.
Oh, we having a party over there in Sewanee.
Yeah, like I'm like, damn, I'm getting told I can't go into family visit with my tweezers.
Yeah.
But you guys are just hauling in meth and weapons. It's like, all right, I'll sit here. I'll put my tweezers back in my car. I don't fucking
Yeah.
like what the fuck.
I'm just thinking at this point, we should be allowed to bring in cell phones.
I
Really.
know. I
Because, I mean, come on. I mean, listen, the cell phones are not coming in through the visitors. Let's be real. Okay. We can't, there's no way. There's no way they're getting in through visitors. They're getting in through
mm-hmm,
staff
mm-hmm,
and shipping trucks. Let's be fucking real.
I know.
Sorry, I'm cussing. I should not cuss. Okay, I forgot. 10-minute mark. Oh, it is past the 10-minute mark. Fuck, 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 fuck. I can say fuck now. Sorry. Um, but I'm just saying, like, let's be real, guys.
Yeah,
All
I
this fun stuff is not coming from us.
it's just annoying because then it's like that's the reason that we can't have like special food vendors and all these it's like that's the reason for XYZ of things that you guys withhold from us and our loved ones and it's you.
Yeah, and I hate the mentality of, and I don't do this in my classroom as well. I don't do this because I think it's not fair, punishing everyone for
Yeah.
one person's actions or a few
Mhm.
people's actions. I think the people that have good records should get certain levels of privileges, and I know that that's already there, and people are going to argue that, and I get that, but not everybody is here to do illegal shit. So there are some people that are actually trying to do well and do good things and not have contraband like this. So
You know what is crazy about that statement you just said about like punishing everyone that Joe told me? This is kind of off topic, but kind of on topic just based off of our podcast.
mhm.
Do you know that before like the Manson murders and everything with Tex in California that they didn't have LWAP?
So he was the reason they brought back or they brought out LWAP.
Yep.
Wow.
He told me that the other day. I was like,
Wow.
I never like thought about it or knew that, but I'm like, wow, because they were like, they didn't want to do the death penalty and they were like, you need. I'm like, so that's what started the abuse of LWAP. So
Yeah.
now they just said any reason, prison for life.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
And Tex, if you don't know Tex, he was the one that actually one of the main people that committed the murders during the Charles Manson murder spree, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
He's at the same facility as Joe.
He
So
is.
Joe knows, like, speaks to him, knows him.
They aren't like on a friendly basis, but they're on like the same yard. And Joe's like, he's a nice guy. He's very he's older now. He's
Yeah.
in his like 80s. He has
Yeah.
kids. He has
Yeah.
multiple kids.
Okay. Well, that's crazy that he was the whole reason for LWAP.
Yeah, I never knew that, and I never really thought about it to begin
Yeah.
with. But I'm like, wow, that's
Well, and
crazy.
I remember Charles Manson did not get the death penalty at first because the death penalty wasn't enacted
Mm-hmm.
until the 70s, and then he got resentenced to death. Then he was on death row, correct? Is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay.
And then
And then he passed away before they did anything. So,
yeah, they all do.
yeah. Okay. Is that all you had for What Up With That?
Yeah, that one. We have that one other thing that we'll talk about.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get into that's our
And then, oh
main.
my God, can we also say about how fucking Diddy is behind bars and still trying to manipulate his victims? Did you see that?
No, I thought he was trying to get out on bond. I did
Well,
see that.
yeah. well, he's above the law in every sense. So he's just
Mhm.
trying everything he can, and he keeps getting really confused when he's met with a wall, and he's like, "What do you mean I can't do this?" Like,
Yeah. Welcome to prison. Welcome to the U.S. justice system. Like,
mm-hmm.
you know.
Yep. But now he is
So he's
apparently
intimidating his victims.
allegedly sending like PIs and trying to like contact them even from while he's still incarcerated. Like this man is crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
So I had a few people talk to me about that. They're like, "Do you talk about that on the pod?" And I was like, "No," because I'll be honest, I don't know as much about it, and honestly, I'll claim negligence in the sense that it really grosses me out, and it really is
Yeah.
upsetting to me. So sometimes cases like that, I choose to like not be in the full
Not
know about.
address.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or not follow, really. I mean,
yeah,
I see stuff here now and then, but the last thing I heard that he was trying to get out on bond, but
yeah.
everybody's like, "Oh, good luck with that."
Well, it
Like,
is
you
a
know,
big risk. He tried to say because he turned himself in, kind of.
that he would be a
Yeah.
good, like, he would be a good candidate because
Like,
he's obviously willing to take responsibility.
boy,
Okay.
you'd be out of here on the first private jet you could hop on.
Hell yeah. Be going to like what, Switzerland where everything's neutral? Okay. That's where he would go. Tie up
Dubai
all
or
his
something
money
like
in
that.
Swiss bank accounts? Absolutely. All right. Well, good luck, Diddy.
Or not.
Or not. I don't know. All right. Well, I also have something coming out of ACLU, Florida. It is the ACLU. This was last week, but they had a whistleblower come forward to reveal blatant human rights violations at an ICE facility in Florida.
Mm.
The whistleblower, who was a former medical practitioner at the Baker County Detention Center, documented a pattern of systemic neglect, staff denying basic medical care to immigrants, falsifying records to cover their tracks, and subjecting detained individuals to racial and sexual harassment. So, the whistleblower's testimony corroborates the account of a young woman whose sexual abuse at Baker is detailed in a federal civil rights complaint that was also released today. This was on November 15th. In her complaint, Blank discloses details of unlawful sexual harassment, voyeurism, and abuse of solitary confinement. A survivor of trafficking and domestic violence, she was kept in solitary for over a month after asking for feminine hygiene products. Over time, her mental health deteriorated, and instead of addressing her health needs, male guards stripped her, strapped her to a restraint chair, and mocked her.
Yo, I'm getting angry.
Yeah. Listen,
The female in me is like ready to pounce.
the female in me, the immigrant family member in me, the all of it, I don't understand how we are a country of immigrants and how we can treat human beings that are trying to come to this country for a better life, how we can treat them so inhumanely and like they're like rodents. I hate it. These ICE facilities are super corrupt. If you don't know, because we have a bunch here in Louisiana, they are super corrupt. Talking about the misuse of power, I think people care more about like they get more. There's misuse of power in prisons, obviously, but you've never seen more misuse of power. Like we're talking like old school guards, like from the 80s and 90s when they used to really abuse our incarcerated individuals. It's like that times 10 in ICE facilities all over the country. So I feel like we have a sense of superiority, like we're better than people. And we're all, at the end of the day, we're all fucking human beings, y'all. Whether you agree with immigration or not, whatever your stance is, that's fine. At
The
the end
answer
of
is
the
not
day,
ripping people out of their homes and sending them back to a place that they don't even know. Half of this is putting people that have been here for years and displacing them and getting rid of like birthright citizenship. Like it's all fucking insane.
and just like this girl who was in this ACLU lawsuit whistleblower, case, she was a subject of human trafficking and sexual abuse prior to being put into an ICE facility, and now that she's in this, she's experiencing it 10 times worse. Like, you're getting people that are coming from very abusive situations to begin with, and then being abused on top of that is horrible and treated as if they are less than human. I can't deal with it.
No, and
I guarantee, because listen, I've been told go back to your country, speak English. Like, my family members have been told that. I've had to deal with that, and uh, first of all, get off your fucking high horse. I'm gonna say it. Fuck, 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 fuck. Get off your fucking high horse. Like, that shit is disgusting. It's ignorant behavior. This is something very tragic, and I have a feeling, I'm hoping that because someone had the courage to speak up, more people expose this, because these ICE facilities are a breeding ground of corruption and sexual abuse and all kinds of abuse that we don't hear about very often.
I can only see it getting worse, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, we know what, the incoming party wants to do with our immigration, and I mean, they still haven't released any kind of a plan, but it's like a lot of their things that they've done previously are usually just thrown together clusterfucks, disregarding people, and I'm very scared for the stories that will come out and the situations that people are going to have to go through. And it's like, I don't know how to get people to care that don't.
Yeah. It's hard because people see immigrants as subhuman, unfortunately, and that's
None
really,
of
really
us,
sad.
we're
Because
all
listen,
immigrants.
we're all immigrants to this country. The only people that were actually here in the beginning were the First Nation Native Americans. So get off your. That's why I tell people, get off your high horse. Like, you also come from a family of immigrants. If your family came from England, Ireland, Scotland, France, all the European countries during the Industrial Revolution, like, you are a child of immigration.
Mm-hmm.
We are a country of immigration. That's why we call it the melting pot.
And that's what makes us beautiful. All of the different nationalities.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It makes us who we are. And yeah, it's just something, it hurts my heart to hear these stories. And, like, I have students that are immigrants that I teach in my school. And, the first thing they say is, I'm worried. I'm worried for my family. I'm worried that we're going to get kicked out and have to. I have a student actually from Venezuela, like, that was from there, and he left because of the terrible situation that's happening there politically. And he's like, I'm terrified to go back. Like, I'm terrified they're going to make us go back, and I don't want to go back. So
Kids just shouldn't even be involved in these situations, and that's who is most of the time. Like, and with no regard. And that's like, as a parent, I'm like I have to breathe, practice my box breathing, because I'm like,
yeah, it's a lot. It is heavy, and it's a lot. So I just hope that more people get the courage to speak up, and people see that people change their mindset, because everybody's so self-centered and they're worried about themselves, and they're not worried about human beings as a whole. And if we started looking at everybody as a human being, how different this world would be, to where we wouldn't have to sit here and go, well, they're immigrants, they should be in prison. Like, no.
No. Like, what do you mean?
And I know we're going to get shit. I know we're going to get hated on for this, but that's a hill. Listen, my family came here and they got rejected twice to come to the United States. So I understand that not everybody gets accepted to come in. So you kind of have to make do and try to find the best way for you to take care of your family. And going to a country where there's political strife, there's cartels, there's stories of people just walking on buses and killing everybody in Latin American countries. So I'm sorry, I'll get off this hill, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I think we need to look at humans as human beings, not as subhuman, to start, because that is where I think the problem is. And that's where all this corruption, like, these people that work in the ICE facilities think they're better, that they can sit here and mistreat and abuse, and it doesn't, first of all, it doesn't make them any better. It makes them worse. Like you're worse of you're a piece of shit for doing that, you know? So these people that have authority and power are overusing it and definitely becoming abusive with it. To people that don't necessarily deserve it, they're just trying to find a better life. Okay, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Sorry, it took too long on that.
I have one more thing that I
Okay.
just want to draw attention to. Just a friendly reminder that, again, we have until December 10th to try to get Biden to extend the deadline and save all of the people on federal death row. Right now, Donald Trump has a plan to drastically get rid of everyone on death row, but we do have a chance to try to stop it. You know, everyone's always like, what can I do? How can I help? Use your voice. This is exactly how you can help.
Yep.
So you can reach out to Biden via phone, via email. We have everything actually included on one of the links in our link tree. And if it's not there after we're done filming, I'll make sure that it is. But I just want everyone to know how serious this is. Like, there are reports of guards on federal death row that are performing mock executions to prepare for these real executions. And that's sick.
Yep.
And think
They do
about the
that here. They
people.
do that here in Louisiana too. There's pictures of like guards strapped to the gurney and everybody
Yep.
laughing and having a kikiing and have a great time. So
Yep.
it's
So
definitely done. I can tell you that much.
it's just not acceptable. These are people. One of Biden's promises when he ran was that he would abolish the federal death row. So my my challenge to him before he leaves is to stay true to himself and save people and do
Yeah.
something. Like, this is how he can help. You know, time is running out. Please,
Yeah.
everyone, if you have not signed the petition, please sign the petition, use your voice, reach out, help, do what you can. I know everyone has their own feelings about the death penalty, but I do not think that the state or the government has the right to kill people. So
Yeah.
I'm going to keep using my voice to try to help save
Y'all,
people.
and it's time for us to hold our politicians accountable for what they say on the campaign trail. I told Paige this because we talked about this. We were both kind of frustrated at the fact that nothing's been done yet, you know, and it's getting down to the wire basically. And basically we need to be able to hold our politicians accountable. Like, if you say you're going to do this, produce. Like, don't just say you're doing all these progressive awesome ideas and then, you know, not stand on it. So hold your politicians accountable, sign the emails, you know, and the great thing about Death Penalty Action Group, they have everything done for you. All you have to do is click a button and
Yep.
put your email address in.
Share it.
So
That's
yeah.
it.
All right, I have one more as well, and this is a long one up with that, but I'm sure you've seen him. Paige, have you seen this wonderful guy here?
Wait,
Did you see the mugshot at all?
I
Okay,
have, because that was in California, right?
it was in
Yeah.
California. This is from our friend Taylor at Dedicated to the Incarcerated. I saw it, and I'm like, I had to screenshot it. I didn't want to get into the story, but I did just want to say that a prison nurse at one of
Yep.
I'm assuming a CDCR or a county facility, is accused of showing young children in Santa Monica nude photos of himself.
Fucking weirdo.
Yeah, it's the visitors, right? It's always the visitors. So
I have an
that's
idea.
always, I always come back with that.
I have an idea. Let's make that man a
I
CO.
do. Yeah.
Or let's make him a nurse.
Yeah, because he should be.
He should be
He's
taking care of people.
telling you, some of the people that work here are worse than the, like, and you'll hear that if you ever go to Angola, they always say the staff is worse than the actual incarcerated people. Like,
I feel
so
like the
this is
Angola
just
staff
proof.
is so nice.
They are very nice, but they, you know, when you talk, like when you get to know them and you start having that rapport and you just start talking to them, they're like, man, I mean, some of these people, they don't want to come to work. Like, they just do what they want. They don't give a care. Like, they
They,
bring in stuff. Like,
yeah.
you know, they're worse. They're worse than the, like, at least the incarcerated people get up and they go to they do their jobs, or they're in a program, or they're, you know, they're trying to better themselves. Like, these people are just, they're just as, like, they should be incarcerated themselves with all the shit that they're getting away with because they have a power position. So,
Always.
so Paige, are you ready to dive into our main topic? Our big story?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. Probably a majority of our
Oh,
listeners already know about it.
I've seen, I was going to tell you, I've seen it in several prison life groups on Facebook.
It blew up,
It blew
obviously.
up. It went viral for sure. I'm gonna let you go ahead and tell the juice, the goodies.
In more or less words, at a facility, a county facility, was it in
It's
Michigan?
in Florida.
Florida?
Florida.
Of course,
Yeah.
fucking Florida.
I want to say it's like South Florida, maybe like in the kind of around the Miami area, maybe.
Yeah.
I could be wrong though on that, but I know it is definitely in Florida.
So there is a facility down in Florida where there is a young man and a young female who are both currently incarcerated and have been and for 9 months, and the woman is pregnant by the incarcerated man. But the crazy part is that they have never met in person ever, never face to face.
Or touched
They
nothing.
no contact. They are lovers through the vent. And how that works at a lot of facilities in different counties where they have both genders. That is just how it is. They've kind of put people in, and you can talk through the vents and stuff. So honestly, when I saw this story, I absolutely believed it. I saw a bunch of people who are like, "That's not real." I'm like, "Yes, it is."
Yeah, and I want to say there's even like a show on Netflix
Yeah.
about the fact that people connect in prison, male and female, or even male and male, female, female, through either vents or toilets.
So Joe at his intake facility, or the county, whatever county he was at, they also had females. So like there would be times where like the females like would be by them, and he like told me before about how like because his case was like at least in the area when it happened, it was kind of big and people knew who he was. So like he had like different letters written to him by different girls that were also in
Yeah.
there, and I'm like, well, my crazy ass, I'm like, oh yeah, that was
Can
so
I,
long ago. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
I
oh yeah,
know, I know. Can I
she
just
was
say
in
this? And I'm just going to preface this for our Patreon because this reminds me of a story I
for
wanted to
our
talk
Patreon.
about for Patreon with Michael because he had the same thing where he was in the we don't have county, we have parishes. When he was in the parish jail, there was a female, and I'm not. That's all I'm going to say
Mhm.
because if I say more, I'll start raging, and then but I want to rage on Patreon because I can rage on Patreon. But the story is very sexual, so I don't
Yeah.
want to go there with this. But just so our friends know that I do have a good juicy story for this for our Patreon. So go ahead. I'm sorry, Paige.
Yeah. I don't even remember what I was saying.
Well, you were talking about how Joe, like in intake or while you're awaiting trial, or if you're in a county or whatever for some smaller facility,
Mhm.
they're usually it's not it's co-ed in a sense, but I mean obviously they're
There
separated,
are
but
times where they're gonna cross paths, and like
correct.
even I watched a show one time where a county system basically like whenever the females were walking by in the aisle like or like through a hallway, and if males were out there, they like made the males turn and face the wall. And it was like in that show they actually communicated through commissary. And do you want to know how they did it? They
Wow.
had like a commissary, they had like a machine on the wall where she would type in the stuff that she wanted, and the first letter of each thing she ordered, he had to read down the message. It was she was like, "Hi, blah blah blah," and like he knew it. And I was like,
Wow.
there are sneaky ways of being communicated, like being actively communicative
Yeah.
while incarcerated.
And it
And
just shows, can I just say this? It just shows the, first of all, the ingenuity of the human brain. Second of all, the fact that we are all social creatures and, you know,
always.
we crave human connection, whether it's, even if it's not physical, some type of human connection. So I just wanted to point that out. Sorry.
Another thing to mention about this couple is that they are actually both serving or going to be serving sentences that are for murder.
Yeah.
So they do not know when either of them, as of right now, are even going to be out, if at all. So it kind of was a really interesting topic. We felt like for the pod because a lot of time we talk about having babies when you're incarcerated, and then like this situation, there is now a baby, there is now a life involved that now does not have a dad or mom. and is going to go probably, I don't know if it would go to one of their family members or if it would just be like automatically gone to the system. I don't really know how that would work
I would
or
hope and pray that it does not go into any type of system, that someone in the family could help love and care and give that baby lots of love, because
yeah.
that's what it's going to need.
But then you think, I don't want to say always because anyone can go to prison, anyone can get arrested. But a lot of times, people that are in prison are there because they didn't get that love and support. So then at the end of the day, as a family, there's so many ifs, ands, or buts. And of course, there's so many opinions. Everyone has an opinion, especially when it involves anything with prison. So,
Oh yeah.
the comments were crazy. I
I'm
don't
sure they
know.
were wild, and I'm sure they were all over. Like, some people can see why, because the guy, I mean, when I watched the video, the guy said, because they interviewed I think it was a news person or journalist, interviewed both of them through a video visit. It looked
Hmm.
like a
Yeah.
kiosk through the video. And he said, I've always wanted to have a child. Like,
Yep.
I've always wanted to have a child in this world. And I knew that I may not get this opportunity ever again or in this lifetime. So, she was willing to try it with me. And I think they even said, like, maybe even after a month of trying, like, it just happened very quickly. So,
Hmm.
how they did it through the vent, basically. And she just was like, okay. I think she already has children, correct?
I don't recall. All I know is
Okay.
that I saw the thing where she was like, he said he wanted to do it. So I was like, okay, let's do it. I'm like, oh,
Let's go. She's
hey,
and
I
she
don't,
she called. I know, and I know we both have mixed feelings, because I'm trying to play devil's advocate for both
hmm
sides.
I'm thinking about the baby.
Well, absolutely that too. But she was like, "Yeah, let's go for it," and she calls the baby her miracle baby, which obviously it is a miracle, because, and they were, I mean, I don't know if I agree with this, but they were comparing it to, Mary, the mother of
Yeah, yeah, the
Jesus,
Virgin
like,
Mary.
Virgin Mary kind of thing, like, I'm like, well, okay, I don't know. Now you're getting a little too,
A little bit of a
yeah,
stretch, but
yeah. But, you know, um, I don't know. I know Paige, but we talked about when Paige sent it to me this past week, I was like, I feel bad for the child, because, in a situation, if I were to get pregnant or you were to get pregnant, at least we have family out here. We're out here. We're, we're established. Like, it would be so difficult. And people don't agree with having a partner incarcerated and someone home and having a child. They think it's also selfish. But I'm just thinking now, okay, well, you have two parents that are incarcerated. Like, that child has nobody.
no
I mean,
one.
I hope and pray that somebody in the family will step up and raise this child, but they also put that on their family to do.
Hmm.
So, and like, it would be similar to me. Like, if I had a child, my mom and my dad would have to help me, because, I mean, I can do it, but I
Hell
mean, I would
yeah.
need help with
It
childcare.
it takes a fucking village to
It
raise a
does.
child,
It
and
does.
it is hard as hell to do with as one person. So like I I don't know. It sucks, but now, it is what it is. There's a child, so it's like I honestly I'm interested to follow this and kind of
Yeah.
like where does the child go? Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
what I wonder if they can get like in trouble for that, you know? Like, or if there's anything they could legally do, because I guess what, if it could legally be done, them getting in trouble, it'll happen in Florida
Oh,
because
yeah.
Ronnie will make a new law.
Ronnie will
Like,
make a new law. Absolutely.
fucking clown.
Um,
Hate him.
um, I know. I feel you. I just, I guess I just struggle with, I think everybody who wants to have a child should have the right to make that decision.
Yeah.
I also, I'm an advocate for choice. I think choice is important, whether you want to have children, whether you don't want to have children. That is your personal choice. The government should not tell you what you should do.
Stay
That's
away
my,
from my ovaries.
yeah, that's my personal stance. I think government tries to put its hand in too many things, and personal choice is your health, your choice. And I will stand by that. You can come at me all sideways if you want, but that's my decision. I personally don't believe in certain things, but I'm not going to project my personal beliefs on other people. That's their choice.
Yeah.
And this couple made a choice. Whether they were really a couple, they were obviously talking through the vent. They were getting to know each other. That's all they do. That's what the girl said in the video. She's like, all day, all we get to do is talk. Like, it's nice to get to know somebody. And they obviously became very close, very bonded over months of, contact, but, and not contact like that, but like communication contact through the vents. But I also understand, like, oh man, I go back and forth because then I have my friends that have raised children whose parents have been incarcerated their whole life, and they have beautiful relationships and beautiful families. Like, you can't say that these families aren't beautiful. They're amazing. These people are I like to call them my goddaughters because they're almost like my goddaughters because I've seen them go to visit for 8 years at this point. And whenever they're in town, I will pick them up. I will do whatever with them. Like, I want to hang out with them. So these beautiful young ladies I've seen kind of grow up in the system. How can you be so hateful and angry and say that that's selfish? Like, granted, they were born before he went into prison. They were born like very like right at, like almost. I think one of them was 6 months old when her father went in, but I think how can you judge them, and how can you say that this child can't be a child of an incarcerated parent? I just don't. I don't know. But then when it's two incarcerated parents, what do you do? That's where I'm kind of like meh, on both sides.
I want to like open that door to everyone that like listens to us, because obviously, if you're in California, you know that. And you are able to, because I know not everyone is able to, have family visits. And you have that opportunity to conceive and have a baby with your loved one, regardless of their sentence. I'm curious for everyone, is that something that you would do? Knowing it'll be different for everyone depending on, how long your loved one's incarcerated and like your situations. I'm just curious, is that something that you would do? Because I think obviously the thought of having a baby with your person, like creating a person with your favorite person, like that is
having a mini person of yours.
like, oh my God, like, can you imagine? I can't even like I love my son, but like Joseph is like my like heart and soul in another body, and having a baby with that person, like, that's crazy. And I would love it so much, but that's, I feel like, a lot of the feelings that overwhelm people when you talk about this, and you don't think about the late nights when the baby's crying and you're only there, or the school events,
the baby gets sick. Yeah,
the school events where it's like a choir and everyone goes and all the parents are there but not the dad, or like things that this child will have to go through and live with because of your decision. And I've talked about it with people, and people that have heard that I'm kind of open to the idea have told me I'm selfish, and have told me A, B, and C, and D. And like, as much as it hurts sometimes to hear people say that, I kind of welcome the conversation, because I love my child, and any child I would have. I want them to be happy and be free and be themselves, and I don't want them to be like, oh well, yeah, mom had me because she wanted to have a baby with Joe, and like
But I also, Paige, I also think the baby being born, if you had a baby with Joe, let's be real, that baby would be showered with love, affection, everything that a child should have growing up. Even though there's going to be times where Joe can't do and Joe can't be there, I'm thinking of his family and your family coming together to help raise this child, and that child would never want for anything, and that child would never starve for love and affection because they would have it all the time.
But
I
then
know it would be.
you have people that are like, okay, but then your child has to be like, my dad's in prison because he killed 2 people. And I'm like, I always like, I'm like stuck then in the argument. And I'm like, that's true, but what the fuck does that, like, you know what I mean? Like, it just sucks that that's always.
Listen, there are what, like 6 million children, 9 million, I don't know, 6 to 9 million children with incarcerated parents. There's a huge population of children. He or she would never be alone in that. I teach children that have parents that are incarcerated every year. Every year. Because, well, first of all, in Louisiana, 1 in 4 people have somebody incarcerated. So it's not this big taboo uncommon thing anymore. And
Mm-mm.
I mean, it's weird to say, I get it, and some people might be ashamed to admit it, but some people also aren't. They're like, well, that's where my dad is, but you know what, at the end of the day, he's still my dad.
That's like when I go to the car rental places or anywhere I go now where I'm like, they're like, where are you going when you're here? I'm like, I'm going to the prison. And they're like,
Yeah,
oh. And I'm like, yeah,
here it is, boom.
that's why I'm here. Thank you. Can I have the key?
Yeah, make it like it's like normal, like make it normal, like
Exactly. It doesn't have to
normalized.
be weird because
Doesn't
it
have
really
to have
isn't. That's
stigma
just
attached
our
to it.
life.
Doesn't have to have prejudice attached to it. Like, what's wrong? And the thing is, studies have shown that men with families that are rally around them, men and women, so let me say that are incarcerated, that have families rallying around them, do better when they come home or do better while they are incarcerated.
Yeah.
Like, studies show that. And, if you have, like, if Mike had a little mini me, oh my God, he would. I mean, not that he's a model inmate. He hasn't been written up in 20
Oh my
years.
God, I know.
He would. I mean, we talked about having a little girl, and that girl, he would be wrapped around her finger,
Hmm.
and he would do anything and everything to have as many visits as possible with her. And
My
he
heart.
would, yeah,
Not Brody. Joseph wants a little girl too. The way that they
yeah,
both want little girls.
yeah. The girl dads, big time.
Oh my God, they
They're
are.
Swifty girl dads for sure.
They would be. And that's why I'm like, who the fuck am I to not give this man his daughter that he deserves?
Yeah. Even though you heard a child crying on the flight and you're like, my ovaries freezed up. I'm like,
I know. I was like, I think I suddenly can't get pregnant anymore. Like, I don't. Meanwhile, I felt so bad for the parent though, because when that's you're
oh,
just like, shut.
that was me on a flight to Colorado from New Orleans when I was like 6 months old because my ears were popping with the change in pressure, and
Yes,
I was
yes.
screaming bloody murder. My mom was mortified. So I'm sure the
Yeah,
mom was just as mortified. But it's a child.
exactly.
They don't understand. They don't know what they're doing. They're probably freaking out because this is something new. And listen, what you can be a grumpy old ass if you want to do that, but it's going to do is just bring you down. You might as well put your earbuds in, do your best to cancel it out, take some deep breaths.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kids are going to be kids, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can understand that. Like, oh, I don't know, maybe now, no, birth control, birth control.
I know. I'm like, oh, I'm like going through the check-in process with a child.
Well, one day it's going to happen. I already know. You're going to bring Brody, and then you're going to have a little Josefina. That's what I'm going to call her.
Oh, I love that.
I
Well,
love that.
we'll manifest that.
I am. I'm putting it out there for you.
All of the baby juice.
All right. Well, I wanted to also say, hey, it's it's fall. It's time for Thanksgiving,
All y'all.
and I know awkward sometimes dealing with family when you have a loved one that is incarcerated can be extremely awkward. Last year, Paige put together a little fun. Is it like a little step by step thing or
So
a number thing? It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I thought.
I put together 6 ways to respond to nosy questions about your loved one. Thanksgiving family dinner edition.
Yes, ma'am. So Paige is going to help you navigate awkward questioning at the family dinner.
Yes. So this is 6 different ways to respond to nosy inquiries that you did not ask for. The first one that I had was my favorite, deflecting with humor. I said, responding with a joke like, my loved one's in prison, but I'm the one here serving time with Aunt Susan's fruitcake.
Ha ha.
But
Sorry,
period.
I love cheesy stuff, but that's awesome.
I love the like the flat out no reaction responses where it's just like, well, yeah, but
Here I am
like just leaving it for there.
dealing with
Um,
my auntie's nasty potato salad. Like, let's be
exactly.
real.
Like this is the punishment.
Yeah.
Um, this was a serious response. You could state your boundaries. If you don't feel comfortable, kindly communicate your boundaries. Say, I'd like to keep that part of my life private, and I hope that you understand and respect that. And that is a completely uh, perfect response. And
Yeah.
anyone that has a problem with that is a problem themselves. Number three, this one is starting to become more of my favorite because of how I am. You could educate them. Provide general information about the prison system without delving into personal details about your loved one. Say, pass the mashed don't say that. Say, pass the mashed potatoes and let's discuss the prison system. The USA is grappling with a severe mass incarceration problem, and I believe that's the topic that we should all be focusing on.
Yes. I love that. And you would say that with a straight, like, I couldn't do that with a straight face. You could. Like, you
You
could
could.
genuinely do it. I know you could.
I could, and I would love to. I would love to. Number four is share the bigger picture. Remind them that the holiday is a time for togetherness and celebration. I'm here to devour this turkey, not engage in a round of 20 questions about my loved one. Let's rejoice in the fact that we're all here celebrating this fantastic day.
Love it. I love that.
This is a really good one. If you are a sarcastic person, you can always jump down their throat and inquire about their life. Respond with an inquiry about how their life is going, such as, Aunt Karen, my husband's life story might be a real page turner, but let's flip to the chapter about your life. What's the latest twist in your exciting novel?
And touche.
It's
Flip the script. I love it.
it's always the ones that got a lot of questions. And it's like, well, what's going on with your drama filled reality show mess of a
Yeah.
life?
Yeah.
Because guess what? Half the time, those people are the ones that have like crazy ass like boyfriends that they bring a new one to each of their each of their family dinners each year, and
Mhm.
it's like, okay, well, I'm still with my same husband who's incarcerated and a lot more mentally stable than your boyfriend of the year.
You're, yeah. You're, what is it? Treat of the week?
Yeah.
Flavor of the week?
hmm And then my last suggestion, which is obviously it's always a great way to go about it, is just acknowledging the progress that your loved one has made so far. So steer
Mhm.
the conversation in a positive light. Say something like, "I'd love to tell you about all the recent progress that he's been making. He's back in school, attending several self-help programs, and really focusing on bettering himself. It's truly inspiring to witness his dedication to making amends."
That's great one. That's a great answer.
I
You're giving them a little bit, but you're giving them only the good, positive stuff, not the juicy shit that they
Yes.
want to get out
Yeah.
of you.
It's like, and like, actually, guess what? Like, at least when it comes to my husband, there isn't juicy stuff. And like, there is,
Yeah.
other than the shit that he has to deal with within the prison, he's not involved in any drama or any crazy shit. Like, he's literally a substance
Yeah.
abuse counselor and going to like NA and, GA and AA meetings and all of these different things. And he is in school taking 7 classes. I'm like, he's a lot more productive of a person than I am. I go to work and then I come home and sit.
Yeah. He's doing stuff all day and
Yeah.
all night.
Yep. Yep. So shut down all those nosy questions, y'all. I'll share it again. It is on my Instagram, and if
Okay.
anyone wants, I'll maybe we can share it on the main page so that everyone can see it again.
Sure. Yeah, we'll share it to the pod page, and we'll also have it up this week coming up in our Love with the Malls, a little reboot of it for all of our peeps that are dealing with nosy family members,
Which
getting their nose.
unfortunately is a lot of us.
I always do this. Hey, 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 ha! I got your nose. Guess what? Where it was? In my business. Get out.
That's funny.
So
Now keep it out.
yeah. I love flipping I love the pass the mashed potatoes, but you know what? We should also talk about prison reform, you guys, because this is a major topic. I love
Yeah,
it.
especially if you guys are in California, talk about like the stuff that didn't pass. Be like, can you
Hmm.
guys believe that California voted to keep slave labor? That's insane. What year
Yeah.
is it?
Yes, indeed. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, are we ready? I think Fred wants to give us a little call
Sure.
here. Okay, here we go.
Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from
Fred.
an inmate at Florida Correctional Institution.
Oh, he's at FCI. Oh my
Oh, he's
goodness.
down where the contraband was.
I know. All right. Well, Florida Fred is in the building, and that means that we're going to press 1 to accept. And we got some questions and some. We got one speaky pipe that I have not listened to yet. All right. Someone wrote us. I'm not going to say who, but someone did want us to talk about this. Topic that she would be keen to cover is more of MWI, which means met while incarcerated. And if anyone on the podcast has had a loved one become free and go back into the real world, I don't even know how to word it. She said, my loved one has been locked up for 10 years. And before being on the inside, he was a part of a group, is what she's going to call it. I'm assuming that means something else when we say group with
Got it.
air quotes. Okay. His biggest fear is that he has been on the straight path now for a long time and doesn't want to be enticed by his old group or recognized when he's free by the rival groups in his city when he's finally free again. And to be honest, my biggest fear is things out of our control and his. I feel like he's safe whilst he's on the inside, but on the streets, he's not going to be safe. He always asks me if I wish I had more time apart, and part of me is saying yes, as horrible as that sounds. But I guess she's struggling with the being worried as an MWI couple and them not living together, and she lives far away from where he's located. That he's been inside for 10 years plus. And he's obviously maybe due to be getting out soon, but she's worried about these groups and rival groups wanting him to, as soon as he hits the streets, get back into that lifestyle. And that is terrifying. That's very terrifying because, just as quickly as you get out, you can be roped right back into it, hitting the street. And if they find out you're out, they can come find you and bring you back in as quickly as possible. So I get that that's scary.
I wonder, my question, like just hearing that, I wonder if, because I know how it is in California with the groups. When you leave a group, you a lot of times are moving yards, and moving to a yard where you don't have to deal with all of that drama and stuff. So I'm wondering, my question is did he already have to go through that? Because if not, a lot of times they still see you as part of that group. And it is really hard to, unfortunately get out of those things, especially when you get out. Like, if hopefully he's not being released to the area where he was from, because that is like a recipe for disaster. I would definitely, if I know you're not looking for advice maybe, but don't be in that area. Don't put him in situations he doesn't want to be in, around people he doesn't want to be around.
Yeah. And sometimes I also think, with in regard to finances go, some people don't have the means to leave the city from where they got originally arrested or, convicted in. And that all their family might be there and that's where they want to go. But, there's also this, this other factor, this elephant in the room that is going to be coming for you if you put yourself back in that area. So
yeah, and if you go in that area and remove and just avoid that, I mean that doesn't work either.
Yeah. So this is something very hard to navigate. Obviously, the only thing I can speak of from personal experience, Mike has mentioned to me that even though he does not want to go back to where he's from because he knows that is a recipe for disaster for him, because people are going to try and put him back into prison because they are prejudiced, because they are, because of his past, obviously they would try to, sabotage his parole chances and things like that. So he does not want to go back to where he's from. In fact, he wants to get out of the state of Louisiana, and there's a lot of people that are coming home that do not want to stay in Louisiana because of how corrupt it is.
I can't. You got fucking get the first flight out of there when he's out.
Yeah. So I hate saying that, the only way to be sure that that's not going to happen is to be honestly to remove yourself from that environment.
I don't know if he's attending any like GA meetings, but there, at least at my husband's prison, they run them all the time in and out of prison. So like maybe he can talk to people in his group about that, because I know that that's a very common situation.
And also, it might be good not to announce his homecoming. Like there's a lot of people that are like, my loved one's coming home, and they have videos and the pictures, and sometimes that's beautiful. And believe me, my heart is filled when I see those. I cry. I get excited for the families and stuff like that. But if you're in a situation where you're worried about the people finding out that he's out, it may not be a great idea to broadcast that he's out. You may have to kind of just do it quietly and remove yourself from that city environment, wherever it is that could be causing, that angst. I don't know. But the fact that they're not together and she's like, well, we need more time apart. I'm worried about that. I'll be honest, because he asked her, like, she feels he's safe, but she's also like, maybe we need more time. I don't know if she's saying we need more time apart.
It almost sounds like she's saying that because she knows he's safer in prison. So she's like, I want to keep you where you're safe.
Yeah.
But
he
something that I didn't know when it comes to groups is that, did you know, which you might have known, I just am naive when it comes to this stuff, because they're in and out of prison, but they are ran inside.
Correct.
I never knew that.
The head shot callers come straight from inside prison.
Yeah, so it's like, although you might think he's safer in prison, like if he really was on their bad list or not, like I think that would have already been a problem unless he is removed. So it's like, without knowing too much, if you're comfortable and like want to talk about it more, you can message me.
Yeah.
Or if anyone listening has experience and would like to help her, shoot us a message and maybe we can connect you.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. Because I think she's struggling with the idea of him coming home and having to hit the streets and being enticed by these groups. Whereas in prison, obviously, he must not be around them.
Yeah.
It sounds like to me. So.
Or might be on a yard that's not active.
Yeah. So if you have any experience with your loved one coming home or getting out and being in a group, hit us up, because I'd love to be able to connect you with this person who's obviously she's got it on her brain. She's thinking in the back of her head, if he gets out soon, what's going to happen? He's not safe anymore, so. All right. Let's do another one. This is from Dolphin Baby. She asked, what are New York state reform bills? I have something out of New York as a state reform. I know they had a bond reform. Obviously, we cover all 50 states, not just a single state, but I did find something for her in regards to there was a rally, and this was at the end of October.
Is it about the probation and?
This is for youth criminal justice reform.
Okay.
This is from, but there was a thing with bond reform in New York, and there was a lot of like bail bond like backlash, from what I understand, from the bond reform that was pushed a few years ago. But this is something for youth criminal justice. It says advocates rally in South Bronx for youth criminal justice reform. They rallied on October 23rd at St. Mary's Park to support two bills that would expand protections for young people affected by the criminal justice system. The Youth Justice and Opportunities Act, sponsored by Senator Zellner Myrie of Brooklyn and co-sponsored by multiple Bronx Senate and Assembly members, would expand alternatives to incarceration and seal the criminal records of people under the age of 25. which is pretty, wow, that's pretty awesome. Under 25. So they're using that brain scientific study to base their criminal justice reform on, which is great.
Yeah, science. That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's like fact, like this has been studied and studied and studied and studied. We always talk about it on the pod, like how your brain is not fully developed till 25. Can you imagine if this was done in every state, Joe and Michael's thing would be sealed because they were both under 25.
It doesn't make a difference, but Joe literally was a month into being 21.
Yeah. Mike had just turned 20. So he was a young buck when this happened, and his brain was not fully developed, both of them, you know? So this would be something good, and hopefully states like ours, who's doing the exact opposite of that, and they're trying to unseal juvenile records, and also make it possible. There's a Senate bill in Louisiana, just so y'all know how backwards our state is, because people don't believe me. There's a Senate bill to prosecute children as adults, more children as adults, and put them into adult-run facilities, like putting a 14-year-old into Angola.
What is their reasoning for that? Because usually when these things happen, it's because like a serious crime happened, and they're like, they want to, like, what? Why?
Because there's a lot of children doing carjackings and stuff like that here.
Oh, so that's what needs to happen to them? Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. There needs to be other ways, because let me tell you real quick, putting a child in prison is only going to make them a better criminal. Like, let's be real. Like, they're not going to learn the things that they need to learn and get the love and support and the things they need to become better young adults and more productive young adults. They're just going to become more criminalized. But that's what our state wants. Our state wants to lock everybody up in cages and throw away the key.
When you put those kids in there that don't belong in there, especially, you're giving them a lot more likelihood of a chance to end up in prison for life, because you have now.
Well, they want to give children life sentences. That's what they want to do. They want to give them LWOP, prosecute them as adults without having the opportunity to get parole.
Should be illegal.
It is illegal, but they're going to find a way to do it because it's Louisiana.
Like, it should be illegal for them to even try to, like.
You know me. I'm with you. But locking up children is never going to be the right way our society should go. Let's be honest.
No, and okay? Like do I want to say this or not? Because it's a controversial topic. I'll say it because it's my opinion. Even when it comes to like the school shootings, when it's the little kids that do it, it's always a mental issue. You know what I mean? It's never someone that's just fine, like wants to go fuck people. Like, it's always something deeper, and the fact that our system doesn't want to look into those things makes me fucking so mad.
They just want to pray.
Yeah.
But they don't want to do anything about it.
Let's figure out what made this child get to this point.
Correct. Let's pray and think about the families, but we're not going to do anything to support or try to change society.
Doing anything to help any kids or adult or parent that lost their life by not looking into it.
Yeah. And as a teacher that has to do these protocols for these school shootings, I will say this, like, at some point I'm tired of hearing politicians go, well, let's pray and think of the families. No, do something. Sorry.
No, it's horrifying. My brother is a teacher. My sister-in-law is a teacher. My child's in school. I am horrified.
I know this scares you because we always talk about it, you know, going back and forth, how scary it is.
I'm like, I wish I could just have my child homeschooled sometimes, because I'm like, at least then I know he's safe with me.
Well, I will say this, and I'm going to say this on behalf of a lot of teachers, not all, but a lot. I always tell my kids this: you do what you need to do, because I'm willing to lay my life down for you.
Period.
And I'm sure a lot of other teachers are willing to do that too. So I tell my kids, look, as long as you try to stay invisible, nobody's getting through that door. I will use my body as a shield. And I know a lot of teachers feel that way about their kids. Sick. They're not their blood children, they're their students, and that's how they feel about it. So just know that teachers are going to be the front ones to get the brunt of that and take care of these children. But also, as a teacher myself, I'm frustrated with how things are handled in this country when it comes to like everybody acts like oh, and it's like no, do something. Stop looking around. Do something. Sorry. Okay. I get on my soapbox about that. But yeah, you're right. These children that come in, I mean, obviously it's mental. It's more mental health, and this country has a. I mean, it's slowly getting better, but very slowly, in regards to addressing mental health issues. Because if we address mental health issues, you can help curb some of these crimes, some of these major catastrophes that and tragedies that happen.
Yep. I mean, there literally have been studies that came out that show that all all of these kids that go down that path, like all they needed was one, not even two. They needed one adult that cared about them, that was there for them, that would listen to them, and like they don't have that, and so they turn to other things or people that they think are guiding them that are just bad. Like,
Yeah.
it's sad, but that's how it happens.
Yeah. And children at that age are so impressionable. So if you have a child that's supported, loved, feels that they can come and talk and share their feelings and emotions, I mean,
I love that.
yeah, I mean, how beautiful could that be that you might have helped somebody that was thinking of going down this really tragic path, and you could have, just by listening and just by being like, I'm here for you, and like it's okay to not feel okay. But we need to talk about it. We need to, and if you don't want to talk to me about it, we'll find somebody that you feel comfortable to talk about it with, because mental health is a big thing that we need to pay attention to in this country, and that we just keep sweeping under the rug every year. Sorry.
I agree.
All right, I'll get to the next one. We have a wonderful message from Andrea Cage. She said, just want to say I love you girls. Thank you for all the awareness that you bring to the community. Thank you, Andrea. That was very,
Thanks,
very
Queen.
sweet. All right. And this is from Addie, Chapters and Chains. We love you. Sorry.
Another TDCJ
Yeah.
wife.
Another I can never say it.
I know.
TDCJ.
Yeah,
I always
yeah.
want to say TCDJ.
Me too. I don't know why.
All right. Addie asks, what is one thing people outside of the prison wife community can do to show support and love? Great question.
That's a really good question, Addie. To show love, I feel like my genuine response to this is it comes back to our answer for that other, like when we were getting attacked on, like the people that just don't even, that just see people being mean for no reason. Like you don't even need to step in and, protect for like for serious things. Just if you see anyone like bullying us, like for things that aren't warranted, like I feel like in like stepping up and saying something, like that's the only the way we'll get these people to stop. And it's like not even being combative with them, just being like, hey, why are you acting like that? Like
yeah, why are you being so hateful?
Yeah, be like, why do you care about their relationship? You know what I mean? Like just holding space for us to be understood and exist without being hated on, and trying to help create that safe space, which a lot of people do that don't have incarcerated loved ones. Like I know on TikTok they have a really great support system of girls that don't even have a loved one that's incarcerated, but just love to join the lives and talk with the ladies because they know that they're genuine, awesome girls and just want to hang out.
Yeah. And I will say this, just don't be a bully bystander, because then you're just as culpable as when people attack, people for no reason. I mean, obviously, like going back to some of the things that we've just posted things about education and things about topics with dealing with criminal justice reform, and everybody jumps on us, or even just me talking about my personal life. And people feel the need to be hateful and spiteful and attack. Just sitting there and letting it happen is saying it's okay to talk to somebody like that. And I love that that's one way that people who are not involved in having a loved one incarcerated can help others. Like, just see them like, look, I don't agree with what he did, but he's still a human being. And, or, she's a human being. She's not breaking any crime. She's not breaking crime, not breaking any laws or rules. Like, she's just loving another person. Why is it such a big deal? Or why are you feel the need to be so superior? Like, stuff like that, I think that's
Another way you saying that, I was like, okay, also another way that people could help or be supportive is literally just like serving as like our megaphone and helping spread the news that we talk about on here, or the crazy
yeah.
injustices that you see people talk about on TikTok that are happening and people don't care about, whether it's like, sentencing or like anything that's happening, like just helping spread the word. Like, we find out all kinds of things on here, like even Addie's husband, for example, like the situation that he was sentenced and given death row. Like, I'm like, I didn't even know that they could do that.
Oh yeah, if they want you on death row, they put you on death. They'll find a reason.
Yeah, but like
And
now
in,
I
in
know that,
Texas,
and I
it's the law
tell
of
people,
parties.
you know what
Yeah,
I mean? So I'm
like
like,
he wasn't even there when the crime happened, yet he
mhm.
got the death penalty. That's nuts to
and
me.
and I didn't even know that that was a thing. So that's why I'm
Yeah,
like, tell people these stories that you hear us talk about, and like let people know that these things are real and they're happening to real people who are still existing and not trying to spread any negative energy, like
yeah, yeah.
that's what
And
I'd say.
I agree absolutely. And also, I think it's good for people that are not in the prison life community just to listen to understand. I'm not saying you have to agree with everything we say, but I think just listening and hearing us out and giving us a chance, and instead of just like we get so much automatic write off,
Yeah.
like, oh,
Stop the
she's with a guy,
generalizations.
she's with a guy in prison. Whatever she says doesn't make sense. Like, already writing me off. I'm invalid because
Hmm.
like I'm So I think that's important too. Just listening to understand. I'm gonna say this: my parents are a wonderful example of that. My dad, mega maga guy, and I don't agree with his political views. He doesn't agree with mine, and we respect each other. And I'm not gonna dismiss my father because he voted for Trump. I love my dad endlessly. He's a brilliant man, a very smart man. And he was very much for the death penalty. In fact, he was like, they should kill him within a year. And when Michael went up for clemency, this is just me talking and explaining to him the truth of the system that he was not aware of. And he doesn't think that Mike needs to be out of prison, and I understand that, but he also doesn't think Mike needs to be on death row. And when he went up for clemency, my dad was like, I don't understand why everybody's fighting the clemency. Like, they're not asking to get out of prison. They're just asking for a life sentence. Give it to them.
Hmm.
And this is my father, who was like, yeah, appeals should be sped up and everybody on death row should have a year. And then if not, they're executed. Listen, and that was me changing his perception. So just, even though my dad doesn't agree with everything, he still listens to understand.
Hmm.
And obviously I'm rubbing off on him a little bit, maybe,
I love that, because that just reminds me of like when I say like end LWAP and people like lose their mind and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't think there's people that deserve to be in prison for life with no chance of getting out? Like, did I say that? That's not what I said. I
Mm-hmm.
understand that there are people that cannot be rehabilitated, that don't want to be rehabilitated. Everyone is different. Every person is different, and that's why there is not one size fits all, especially when it comes to a sentencing. So yeah, why are you against if you do X amount of time and then going to a board and being reevaluated? And if a board sees them and says that they're okay, why are you against that? Why do you know better than them?
Yeah. Yeah. These people are trained. They held all kind of positions to be here. This is a coveted position. It's a very difficult position.
Yep.
And, I don't know. I just think, and the way you handle it also when you explain on like when someone comments that on a TikTok, you're like, well, I'm just saying as a case by case basis. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying everybody deserves a shot, because
Correct.
there are
Let them,
some
like,
people
open
who,
the prisons. Let them in.
yeah, no, that's not what we're saying. And I think people get that they're so ignorant that they don't even think. Like they just speak. They don't even think. And it's all about the individual based on the crime, what happened. Everybody's case is different. We can't, like you said, we can't have a one size fits all solution. So,
That's the
and
easy thing. That's the easy thing to do.
yeah, well, it's just like, it's basically saying, well, they have no chance. Let's just keep, making money off of them, basically, is what it is.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
keep
what
paying over $100K a year CDCR.
Mm-hmm.
And now you put a freaking machine in my husband that now he has to go to the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're paying for that healthcare.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a you have to, I don't know, I just think people that are outside need to really just listen to understand, and not saying you have to agree with it. You just have to listen to understand and maybe say, okay, well, this is what I agree with what you said, but I also still don't agree with this, and that's fine.
And that's what I say to people all the time in our comments when they're like, blah blah blah. Okay, we can agree to disagree. That's fine. That's the end of the convo. No one's right or wrong.
I agree. Yeah. There you go. There you go. All right. Our last question from the inbox comes from Lucky L. And she said, are visits any different during holidays? Special meals, decorations, extra visits on the holidays, or an actual day of the holiday, or even a weekday? So are there any special holiday things that they have at Joe's facility or in CDCR in general?
They do. So for California, it kind of depends on what facility, because for the most part, the IFCs, which is the Inmate Family Council, they take charge of planning. So they get the okay from the prison. They usually get backdrops for pictures. Sometimes they'll get snacks or games or things to color or small events to do. I know some for Halloween, I think some of them painted pumpkins or painted pictures or different fun things that you can do with the limited space. But they have I think this year for Christmas, the way that it lines up with the days that they have 4 days in a row of visits that you could possibly get as long as they're not on max or something. But they do try to bend for those things sometimes. As long as you have a facility with a good IFC, you're golden.
Okay. All right. Well, this is what I was handed on my way out for my last visit. This is a memo that they put on the bulletin boards for the guys. This is their holiday visit schedule. For holiday visits, they get they have the Friday before or the Friday after Thanksgiving. Anybody that has visits taken away as part of a disciplinary thing will get reinstated for the month of December. Visitors can go 5 times in the month. Approved visitors can go 5 times. We usually only get 2. This time we get 5 times in the month of December. And we have visits open from December 21st through the 29th all week. So you can go up to 5 times in the month, the whole month, or you can go use your 5 times for that week. And then Christmas Day, they usually have a special meal. The clubs will get together and make a Christmas dinner, and it's free for incarcerated individuals and their visitors. And it's usually turkey, stuffing, green beans, the traditional Christmas type of food. And they usually do that only on Christmas Day. I don't know if they do it on Christmas Eve, but definitely for Christmas Day. So Mike and I will get a turkey plate for Christmas Day along with whatever else we want to buy. So it's really, really nice. And then, people, like I said, people that don't have visits or have visits taken away will get a Christmas visit or a holiday visit reinstated to visit their family for the holidays.
That's really nice that they do that. I don't know that CDCR is, but I can probably say and confidently say that they don't. But that's nice.
Yeah. Well, I will say, Angola is big on, and Louisiana DOC is big on family.
CDCR says they are.
Yeah. Well, prove it, CDCR. Back it up. Listen, Louisiana DOC, we're backwards as fuck, and we're doing shit.
Literally, look at this.
So, it's right here on the paper, signed by the warden, y'all. Signed by the warden. Okay. So, CDCR, step up your game, please. So that's what I had for questions. We do have one speaky pipe, so I'm going to pull that up. Sheena left us another message. And here we go. There we go.
Hi, ladies. It's Sheena again. I just want to jump on here and say that I was definitely thinking about you guys today. You're definitely missed. I hope all is well.
Wait, I'm pausing this because this is from Wednesday.
I was gonna say, is that
when we didn't put out a pod, and I guess Sheena's feeling that we didn't put out a pod last week. All right, sorry. Here we go.
I hope you guys have a good weekend and all the blessings come your guys' way. Can't wait to hear from you guys next week, but I just wanted to let you guys know that you were definitely missed today, and I continued to get on and look and see if you guys had posted yet until I seen on Instagram you guys said you guys would be back next week. So I just wanted to say hi, and I will hear from you guys next week. Bye.
here we are.
And we're back, Sheena, just for you.
Thank you
I
for
love
missing
you
us. I
so
literally,
much.
that feeling will never not feel like.
I
I
get
missed
goosebumps every
you.
time. My boobs start hardening. It's like weird. Like,
Me too.
I feel like I walk through the freezer section. Like,
You're like,
Sheena,
"Aw."
Sheena, you make my boobs hard. Thank you, honeys. Oh,
We
we
need
love
that on a
you. I'm
shirt.
just, huh?
We need that. We need that on a card.
Oh yeah, we do need on a card. Making my boobs hard. Like I walk through the freezer section of the grocery store. Sheena, that it just means you touched my soul, honey. Thank you for saying those kind things. We've obviously missed you guys. Listen, part of us, like I know Paige and I were like, like Paige was like, I think our intention was to record on the Monday before. But Paige was, I mean, it was just, you were going, I mean, it was a mile a minute for you after leaving. And then I know how that feels when you leave Monday, and you're in the hotel. And so I think, it was just a lot going on. We did film a mini pod, I believe, but, it was just too hard to do an hour and a half pod mentally, I think, for you, because it was just so mentally exhausting. You were, it's just draining. It's so draining leaving a family visit. So we hope you guys can understand that. There's a reason why. It's just a little too hard to record. Pages going mile a minute. Emotions are all over the place, especially when you leave. So I think doing a mini pod was perfect. It was like 30 minutes and then we were done, and it was just easy and you were able to get it out, but you didn't have to sit there and talk about it for an hour and a half. So, but Sheena, we love you. Thank you for missing us. And I know you weren't the only one that missed us. There were a lot of people that were like, where's the pod? Where's the pod? Where's the pod? And then, let me tell you, we love that you guys are like, where's the pod? Like, where's the beef? Where's the pod? Because that just means you're super dedicated and you are riding with us every week, and that we obviously bring some spark of joy in your life. And that to me,
Uno reverse, because we couldn't do this without knowing that, like, literally anyone telling us that we're helping them.
Yeah. And y'all, we love you guys so much. Like, we will always be humble. We come from the very humblest of beginnings with this pod, and I hope that you've seen our growth, because I see our growth. I know people tell us
Thank you.
our growth, but
I have to say thank you to any of the girlies who rode for me and my ADHD.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You had people support you
overgrowth.
all over YouTube on that for sure, and on TikTok. I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my hair back and forth.
And I can't stop unless you want to put me in like you want to bound me to
straight jacket.
I will, but I'll be like,
how robotic.
I can't.
Yeah, no, nobody can do that. Let's be real, y'all. We're human beings. We fidget. Look, I'm fidgeting with a hair clip, y'all. Come on. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean I'm not doing it. I'm doing it.
Mine's visible, very visible.
Yeah. So, but needless to say, guys, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for having our backs. Thank you for waiting every week for us. We love you guys.
It proves this community is as cool as we talked about in the beginning of why we started this pod, because we are like, there are so many fucking cool ass women who are in this life, and I feel like it sucks that the weird majority that gets like known by people is this version that people like to hate, and it's like, you guys just proved that like like we were right, and there's just a bunch of cool ass
Yeah.
bitches here.
Yeah. We love you guys. You're our people. We love y'all. We'll have your back just as much as you have ours. And thank you for supporting us every week, getting us here to 35. And thank you, Sheena, for those super kind words.
Yeah.
All right, meme of the week. I know we don't have one on deck, but we will have one for you on Wednesday. So it's a surprise. So check in. We did have one for y'all last week, even though we didn't post. Paige was like, "We need to post something. We need to give these people something," because everybody was like, "Where's the pod?" So we will come with one. I promise you. Believe me, and it shall be good. It shall be very good. So just stay tuned. Wednesday we will drop our meme of the week.
Well, which is now.
Yeah. Well, guys, we love you. Thank you for bringing us to episode 35. Thank you to our sponsor, Patreon people, our OG Wallers again. And we hope that you guys have a beautiful, wonderful Thanksgiving, whether that is at visitation or whether that's with your family or with your children or with friends. If you're having a Friendsgiving, a gal's Thanksgiving, whatever you're doing.
Send your loved one love from us too.
Yes. And we wish all of your loved ones a wonderful Thanksgiving as well. I know they're in there and they can't be with their family, but hopefully in some way, shape, or form, they can connect with someone on the outside to give them that holiday joy and express your gratitude. It's very important to realize all the things that you do have in a world where it's easy to see all of the things that you don't have. So just an idea of something to do for Thanksgiving is work on a gratitude list. What are some things that you're grateful for with your partner? What are some great things that you're grateful for in your relationship with your partner? Even though, yes, we have a million things we don't have, but what are the things that you do have? And what are the things that you're grateful for? And that also in turn will help you navigate this holiday season as well. Because like I said, it's easy to see all the things we don't have in this holiday season. But
it'll also
it's
change your mindset. And if you share it and do it with your loved one, it'll change their mindset too. And it'll kind of help you shift the view.
Yeah, from negative to positive. And it'll help y'all be a more, I find it's also good conversation starters for people. Like, what are you thankful for? And it's good to get into those deep conversations this time of year because we all need that love, that connection. And when we have things separating us. So. But Paige, do you have anything else?
No.
Oh, all right. Well, we love you guys. Ooh, this was a long potty pod. We did over 90 minutes, Paige.
Wow.
We really missed y'all.
We owed it to them.
We did. I was going to say we really missed you guys, so we owed you a big one. I know it's not 2 hours like the last one that we did, but we're getting there. But we love you guys. We hope you have a beautiful Thanksgiving. Besitos. And we will see you guys next week. And come join us on Patreon because we got some mini pods up there.
If you want to see me cry in multiple different lightings and angles, check it out.
If you want to get my hot, juicy tea gossip, come on down.
Yeah, Gigi's like, I'm talking sexual, and I'm like, and I'm crying.
All right, guys. Well, we love you. Have a great Thanksgiving. Eat some turkey for us. All right. Love you guys. Besitos. Bye.